guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Anastasia here with this week's Teen Mom OG recap. Before I get started, I would love it if you guys would go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I post new recaps every single week of Teen Mom OG episodes, Teen Mom 2 episodes, and Janelle's docuseries. If that's something that sounds interesting to you, go ahead and subscribe. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. The very first opening line of this episode comes from Cate, and she says, "Tyler and I have been having unprotected sex to have another child." That's just peachy. Cate also went to a psychic, which wasn't filmed, and she's like, oh, she talked about the future. Yeah, I would hope so. If she talked about the past, she might just be a stalker, not a psychic. Or maybe just a viewer of Teen Mom. The psychic also said that not only am I pregnant, but I'm pregnant with a boy. She said she can see a beautiful baby boy in our future. And it's me and Tyler's first boy, so we're just so excited. Hey Amber, guess what? I'm pregnant with a boy. Oh, Cate, that's great. We have a boy coming to the Baltiera family. Cheyenne wants to move in with Zach and also move to the Valley. The realtor that she has is telling her that the time is now, so she's stressed about it, not realizing that that's what all realtors say because they want that percentage. But Cheyenne is not very organized about it though. She doesn't even know if Zach is keeping his place or if they're committed enough. Also, her sister R. Kyle lives with her currently, and Cheyenne doesn't know how to tell her how to move out. Bitch, you're 30 and I'm starting a family. Get your own damn house. That might be a good place to start. I mean, I think the Letter sister should kind of get the hint here, shouldn't she? After all, she isn't Brianna de Jesus, who had 3 generations of kin crammed into that 2-bedroom apartment. Anyway, Cheyenne thinks that her and Zach's old issues had nothing to do with them living together. So it should go well. Zach's like, yeah, it kinda did, Cheyenne. I'm OCD and you leave everything open. The ketchup container, the cabinet doors, your legs for Corey. Mackenzie and Ryan changed one of Jagger's parties around, so now it's at Ryan's house and not Jen and Larry's house. Macy tells this to Bentley, and now Bentley only wants to go to the party that's at Jen and Larry's house. He said, I haven't seen Dad and Mackenzie in forever, and it would just be a big jump. Bentley's actually pretty mature for his age. So Macy says, okay, but you need to call Jen and tell her. And he hesitates watching his YouTube video, and she says, like now. Every kid's awkward nightmare. So Bentley calls Jen and tells her, hey, can't come to the party at my dad's house, but I'll go to yours. But why, Bentley? I haven't seen them in a while, and it would be weird. Okay, that's fine. But you can tell Jen doesn't like it, and I'm sure later she'll tell Ryan a sanitized version of his own son being too weirded out to go to his own dad's house, and they'll all congregate in the living room for their weekly Roast Macy session. Amber has decided not to move onto Gary's land. However, she still does want to see modular homes. Apparently for business purposes. Gary drives her to the modular home place, and Amber starts talking like a dude on Instagram who calls himself an investor and has the stocks emoji in his bio. You know exactly what I mean. She's like, Gary, dude, we need to invest. We could buy this modular home and rent it out, you know? Actually, better idea. You need to open a restaurant, Gary. Yeah, Amber, I would love to sell food, but see, there's these things called laws. You can't make this stuff up. He actually had to say that to her. Slow your roll, Amber. Maybe focus on your own business, forever hote. Or shall we say 8 months hote, because that's about how long it lasted before the domain expired. Mackenzie delayed her move to Florida in order to take care of her dad after surgery. He did have complications, so they kept him longer in the hospital, but he's doing better now. Josh apparently came to the hospital to see her dad, and then 2 days before Mackenzie planned to leave, he called her and said, I can't live without you, I gotta go with you to Florida. Maybe he felt this way the whole time, but was just too prideful to say it. It scares him when I look him in the eye and say, I'm going without you, and I'm a strong, independent woman, Josh. I think he was more scared by the lack of food in his pantry, but what do I know? The inner machinations of Josh's mind remain an enigma. Before Josh leaves to Florida, he has to engage in some redneck activities to hold him over before he gets there, namely a hunting trip. He can go to the woods and be alone with the trees and talk to Jesus, but I leave on Saturday no matter what. Good for you, Mackenzie. Caitlin starts her scene by saying, I know I'm pregnant, I need to take a test ASAP, while getting a tattoo. I want to give her the benefit of the doubt and say maybe she didn't know you're not supposed to get tattoos while you're pregnant, but I'm pretty sure everybody knows you're not supposed to smoke while you're pregnant, and she does do that, so take that for what it's worth. Cate goes to take her pregnancy test in a dirty gas station looking bathroom. Like what, is this 16 and pregnant all over again? You have a husband now, you don't need to be doing it like this. Both her tests are a pretty clear no. The digital one says no in all caps, and the one with the lines is only showing one line, which means you're not pregnant. And what does Cate say? No, man, if you squint real hard, there's totally a line there. Girl. Her producer tries to put it to her gently that no such line exists, but Cate is not having it. She wants to buy some more, basically until one of them says yes. Ryan learns that Bentley is not coming to Jagger's party, but of course Jen had to protect little Rai-Rai's feelings and she told him that Bentley was just busy that day instead of the real reason. Mackenzie actually opens her mouth this episode, unfortunately. She's pretty irritated. She says, every October and November is a drama fest because of them. Ryan says Macy gets the kids all excited for them to come and then just cancels the day before. I'm over it. The kids don't deserve that. I'm responsible for their emotions and she's messing with their head. It's one thing to be a petty bitch, but now you're including my kids and it's not okay. She's a spiteful, evil bitch. That's exactly what she is. I find it hilarious that Mackenzie is calling Macy a petty bitch when Mackenzie was the one who went up to that reunion stage and read that ridiculously petty letter to Macy. Remember that? It has been 186 days, 400,464 hours, and 267 whatever the hell minutes since you didn't tell me that Ryan was on drugs. And what's really embarrassing is how convinced they are that Macy is the evil mastermind and such a spiteful bitch for not letting Bentley go. Yet it came out of Bentley's mouth that he didn't want to go. And that was caught on TV, you can't deny that. So what then, is Bentley the spiteful evil bitch? Is Bentley petty? No, of course not. Ryan and Mackenzie are just clueless morons. I'm pretty sure the only thing these two have in common and bond over is their mutual hatred of Macy, and possibly Xanax. Cheyenne is going house hunting, not with Zach, who's busy, but with her sister, Arkyle. Arkyle is going to be a part of this process whether you like it or not. As usual, their children run wild and uncontrolled, this time in the model house. They're pulling down expensive vases, running around the porcelain tile imported from Italy, as the realtor kept talking about, and generally screaming and being wild while the realtor looks very unamused. Corey calls from the challenge and says nothing of value. Blah blah blah, Cheyenne moving too fast, blah blah blah. Cheyenne doesn't tell him that she's moving in with Zach, of course. And Cheyenne hears him saying that they're rushing, and she says, some days I want you back, Corey, but then I think, never mind when you say stuff like that. Back in town or back with you? Mackenzie's dad is doing well, so Mackenzie's leaving tomorrow for Florida. She says, I actually don't want Josh to come. I want to do this on my own. And then she calls him. Do you really want to go with us, Josh? No, not really. Do you want to be married, Josh? I mean, I do, but I don't. Do you love me, Josh? I don't know. I don't want to be stuck with a bitch. Damn, did he ever actually say that he wanted to go? Like Mackenzie said he did? Kind of questioning it now, like kind of convenient how that comment was off camera. Mackenzie has had enough of Josh's mumbling and she yells, you are a horrible husband. In fact, you're a horrible human. You have no right to call me a bitch. I'm leaving tomorrow with or without you. See you later. Bye. Yeah, stand up for yourself, Mackenzie. And maybe actually stick with it this time. Amber comes to Gary's place and is once again in mom boss mode. She's like, dude, you need to start your own restaurant. We're gonna call it Shirley Acres. Oh yeah, perfect space right over there for the parking lot, right next to that barn over there. And then over there, we'll put the toy store. Christina and Gary just act like Amber's wildly thinking ahead of herself is totally normal. Christina's like, yeah. And you could tell by Christina's face, she's thinking like, yeah, sure, bitch, parking lot right there in the middle of my land. Sure, Amber, we'll get right on that. Gary bakes some pies and harvests some fresh vegetables, and then Gary's friends and Amber's mom come to buy some. Kind of like a little lemonade stand, except there's vegetables. Speaking of lemonade, Caitlin goes to take her pregnancy test and she pisses in some of her Tupperware. And tell me this is not the darkest pee you have ever seen in your life. Jesus, Kate, ever heard of this thing called water? That or she takes too much vitamin C pills, which can also make your pee orange, but I get the feeling that it's the water reason. Nasty! She takes about 8 pregnancy tests, and each and every one is an obvious no, but Caitlin legitimately seriously looks at the pile of one-lined pregnancy tests in front of her, literally looking at nothing, and says, yeah, they're positive. With confidence, too! What are you smoking besides cigarettes, Kate? It's like the opposite of a 16-year-old, you know, who looks at the 2 bold-ass lines where it says yes and says, no, the test must be broken, let's just try again. Even Tyler seems a little off-put by his wife's hallucinations, and he says, honey, I think you're just seeing what you want to see. Cheyenne's realtor calls her and basically gives her this sales spiel about how she needs to buy these houses now, because they're going fast, sounding kind of like the used car salesman from Family Guy, like chill out, lady. Cheyenne can't take the pressure and the stress anymore, and she decides to put the house hunting on hold for another 6 months. She asks Zach to just move in with her, and she says, I'm sure the house and the ring will come in time. Maybe, but maybe not before the baby. Bentley comes back from Jagger's party, and Macy asks how it went. He says it went good, but there was no interaction with me and Daddy. The only time we talked was when I got there, he said hey, and that was it. Did you feel uncomfortable, Bentley? No, because I wasn't even around him. After Jagger opened his presents, Ryan went back to his room. Mackenzie was downstairs, though. And also, Ryan was 30 minutes late. Ryan is literally a 12-year-old boy. Comes late to the family party, and only because he's being dragged there by his mom wife. Doesn't talk to anyone, leaves after opening presents, and stays upstairs in his room this whole time. An actual child! And it's funny, all that talk about how you guys never get to see Bentley and you miss him, but then when you do get to see him, you don't even make an effort to talk to him. I've said it a million times, and I'll say it again. Ryan is 100% pathetic, probably the worst out on the show, maybe except for Adam from Teen Mom 2. But that is the only one. Caitlin gets her period while she's taking Nova to gymnastics, and she's pretty disappointed. She said, I had so many fake positives. Girl, the only thing fake was the existence of any positive. You get so excited, and now I'm just let down. Tyler's like, yeah, I guess we'll just let nature flow from now on. Whatever that's supposed to mean, like is she not gonna wear tampons? I can think of several other gross things. Josh is still on his hunting trip, so Mackenzie leaves to Florida without him. Whitney thinks that maybe he'll still come to Florida on a later day, but Mackenzie is not hopeful. Maybe if he was nicer to me, he'll get what he wants. Don't call me a bitch, we won't have a problem taking you to Florida. Then they drive to her dad's house to say bye, and they leave for Florida. And that's all for this episode of Teen Mom OG. Do you think that Cate was actually pregnant? And why does Amber want to start a business so bad with Gary? Make sure to leave a comment down below, and make sure to subscribe for more Teen Mom recaps every week.